Kevin, a goalless draw at home today with Halesowen Town. I know that you are disappointed in terms of what was offered going forward, but also saw positives in the way that your team defended and basically, well, not held on for a point, but made sure that they got a point from that game.
Yeah, I think we looked the more likely side in the first period. Didn't have any, I don't think, any clear-cut moments, but certainly felt we were on the front foot and comfortable in the game. But again, credit to Halesowen, second period they were far and away the best side, and they looked the more likely side to go on and win the game. But yeah, I don't think we've carried the threat offensively in that second period and played to the levels that we've previously been used to against other sides here this season. But certainly from a defensive perspective and staying together and taking something from the game, whilst I wouldn't be content with that and know we need to improve, that's certainly a real positive for us.
Sure. I just put it to you just before I pressed record on here that, it's possibly an example of maybe the sort of game that we thought we would get this season, in that, visitors come here, nice stadium, good surroundings, they're off for promotion, they're feeling confident, they would see us as a scalp, and they came and challenged your team.
Very much so. They've stayed strong in the first half, and we haven't, any of the moments that we did have, which there weren't so many, but we just looked more in control of the game in the first half. And then, like you say, the second half, when it started to move away for us and they're getting a head of steam up, kicking into their, strong away following, became a challenge for us. And that would be the biggest positive to me is, how strong between Fraser and Orrin they've stayed. No glaring errors there today that have gifted Halesowen an opportunity to go and take a soft lead. That wasn't the case on Saturday. We allowed Barwell, for me, soft moments and consequently take nothing out of the game. Again, after looking really solid for 30 minutes in that game up until the first goal. So, yeah, you can't make mistakes in games like this that are tight and two competitive sides. And that's what we will face this season. Another, really tough side to face again next week in the FA Cup. And, it doesn't relent. And again, it's about players rounding and going through that experience and getting the other side of that experience to understand how harder you need to be to be successful in the league.
Sure. I sense you're still trying to get that balance right between the attack and defence. You've mentioned the Barwell game there. As you say, I think we came under considerably more pressure today, but conceded 3 fewer goals than we did at Barwell. But there was more attacking at Barwell. Maybe one comes at the expense of the other. It's getting that balance right.
It absolutely finding that balance, and young men that are learning out there and that are complemented with some of the more senior boys. And like I say, young Brad didn't have the best of times on Saturday. It was a difficult game for him, and they would leave him in there today to learn from the experience and see, has he got that little bit of character, but with the opportunity to play Steph down that side, and it's not on his stronger foot, obviously. I just didn't want to expose Brad to a situation that he may have found difficult. Steph's come in and defended very, very well, and he offers different qualities to Brad. But it is about us growing and learning as a team and getting through situations and games like that when you don't have it all your own way, even at home, and making sure that we are taking bits out of games. And I've said long and hard last season, we'd make some glaring errors that would gift soft goals to the opposition, and that we need to be really tough on that and making sure that we're not, and making sure that we're not conceding silly moments that give us difficult moments to overcome. And again, offensively, second half we were poor. We didn't join up the play like we know we're capable of doing, like we showed in the first half at times. And that all needs to come together. Okay, people may say it's 2 games in 48 hours, but it's largely the same for Halesowen. They've perhaps had the opportunity to change their side around slightly more than we were able to. Again, not wanting to make excuses, but Nathan not being available has been a really strong player for us so far this season, as has Byron. Being able to bring them into the fold, and that's, like I say, not to the detriment of any of the other lads. They've had a go there today, but again, standards need to continue to improve so that we are, like I say, always the most dominant side at home.
Sure. Is Byron's absence, is that just projected to be a short one?
Yeah, we're hoping so. You know, I don't think it's longer term, but again, you know, we'll see how obviously resting today and how, you know, he comes through the next few days of this week, and whether we have him available Saturday. We can keep our fingers crossed, but you know, Byron sets a good standard in you know, the way that he is, and you look at the age he is, and he's as fit as anybody out on that field, and you know, somebody that a lot of those younger players can look to, how he manages the game and manages the ball. And like I say, for Ty, who's just 18 years old, in there, it was a tough afternoon, certainly second half for Ty. You know, and one or two of the other boys, Tarek and Ricardo Montel, you know, as a front four, they can be very dynamic and very aggressive in their play, like we saw against Nuneaton. But today, not as much so. A little bit on the back foot and losing the way a little bit. But it's important, like I'll always say, to come through games and still continue to do the right things, even though when you're under the cosh, and making sure you're taking something from it.
Thanks very much for your time, Kevin. We'll see you here again on Saturday against Colville.
Thank you.